Yeah, what's good, guys? Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to be backtesting a one-to-one restore reward trading system. Yeah, this is weekend, and my weekends mainly are for backtesting. So I just decided to share this video so that I show you guys how I use the one-to-one restore reward trading system. So we are going to be using Nasdaq. This strategy works mainly it actually works in every pair, but it works more on pairs that break through trend line with decisive moves. For example, BTC, Nasdaq, US 30, and also like JPY pairs like USD JPY, GBJPY, and or JPY. I don't really recommend this strategy for gold because gold tends to fake out a lot, especially when you're using the 15 minutes or 5 minutes trend line breakout. So what we are going to do is that first of all, I want to first of all note things that you need to take note of, right? When you are using this strategy. Number one is that you need to focus on two time frames. Two time frames. Right, so you need to focus on two time frames. Now, depending on the type of trade you want to take, on how long you want to hold a trade, or from what time frame you are taking that trade. But for me personally, the 1 hour and the 15 minutes is basically what I use for my one-to-one trade. Unless in some cases I might switch this 1 hour to 4 hours. So it all depends on the price action and what's happening on the chart. So you need to stick to your two time frames. One of these time frame you use this to mark out what I call neckline liquidity. I did a video about neckline liquidity some time ago on this channel, so you might want to check out those video. I don't know if those videos are still public though, or if it's part of my course, but you can check those videos and see if it's public. Then you get to watch the neckline liquidity tutorial. Now, this first time frame over here, you use it to identify your neckline, what I call neckline liquidity. Now, neckline liquidity simply means where we have sitting aggressive orders on the chart. Now, for example, in this particular chart over here, this is a BTC chart, right? This area is a neckline. We have neckline liquidity over here. We have neckline liquidity here. We also have neckline liquidity here. So where you have like 3 to 4 count aggressively moving to a particular direction, that the origin of that movement is referred to as the neckline liquidity. So you need one time frame for your neckline liquidity, and you now need the other time frame for your entry. Now, the other time frame for your entry is mainly going to be a trend line, right? So these are the two time frame you need to focus on. Now, in terms of pair, I already listed out the type of pair you might want to trade. For me personally, this strategy will work mostly of some of those pairs you can see over here, right? BTC, Nasdaq, odd NZD, odd JPY. These are the pairs that I have tested for some time and see that they work very well for it. Gold has not really been that okay, right? So I'm just from one personal experience though. So once you identify those pairs, now let's head over to Go Chart, and this is where I normally use for my back testing. And we're going to be using Nasdaq. So let's use Nasdaq on Oanda. So now, if we are to backtest Nasdaq, let's just start. Let's use. I don't know. Let's just take some random area. So I've not really checked this before, but let's just take some random area on the charts. So what we want to do right here is that we want to go down to the 1 hour time frame, right? We want to go down to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, let's just start from this zone over here. So go down to 1 hour time frame. First thing we want to do is to mark out the neckline liquidity on the 1 hour time frame. Now, this is the area where we are expecting price to reject from. Remember, what you are focusing on in this strategy is to take advantage of the reaction. You're not necessarily targeting a clean reversal, or let's say what I mean by clean reversal, I mean, for example, in this structure, price retraced into the zone. If you are looking for a full reversal, a clean reversal in this trade, it simply means that you want to take a buy from here and target this high. No, that is not what we are doing with a one-to-one restore reward. what you are targeting a one-to-one risk to reward trading strategy is the reaction the price action is going to give you at this level. That push upwards most times is going to hit your one-to-one. I have been trading for some time and I can tell you that even some of the trades that normally target one to two, one to three, majority of them always hit one-to-one before going back to maybe that stop loss or break even or something, or starts doing funny stops. So one-to-one is a very profitable trade strategy. So in this case now, what we want to do is to first of all mark out our neckline liquidity. So we have a series of neckline liquidity. We have one over here, which is this level. Then let me use this. So we have this level as a neckline liquidity. We also have this area as a neckline liquidity. So what we're expecting now is that we are expecting price to reject from this area, right? Then take a trade and just risk 1% and target 1%. Not necessarily 1%, but you understand, one-to-one risk to reward. So you might be risking 2%, targeting 2%, just depend on what you want to do. So once price gets to our neckline liquidity, the most important thing is waiting for price to get to neckline liquidity. Then once it gets there, you can go down to let's say the 15 minutes time frame. Now, okay, so once it gets to the 15-minute time frame, right, as you can see over here, this 15-minute time frame, what you want to do is that you want to draw a trend line from the last two highs. Now, this thing is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it might not necessarily be the last two highs, just a reasonable area where you have a trend line. So in this case now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be drawing a trend line from this zone to this zone. Now, if price does something like this, let's see if I can find a drawing tool I'm looking for. Okay, this is part. So let's say if price does something like this, right, and come down again, meaning price did not break out from that first move over here, then you basically just adjust your trend line from these two um lower highs, right? You can see that the trend line adjusts itself. So what you are looking for now is a breakout above this level. Once you see price closing above this trend line, we'll take a buy position and aim for one-to-one. So let's see what happened there. Remember, guys, this is a live testing, so I've not really checked this. Now, this is also another place you can mark trend line. You can also mark your trend line. Why? Because we created a low here. But why I don't normally do that is because considering these displacements over here, you want to see price close above this particular trend line, this other trend line over here. So it's more of you're going to definitely combine knowledge of price action, all right, and candlesticks formation in this strategy. No strategy is a standalone strategy. You must still know some level of candlesticks pattern, candlesticks formation, price action and stuff. So let's see what happened. Let's see if we got that break. Okay, you see what I said? So you can see that it created a low. This is actually my first time on this particular chart, but I'm just following the rule. Now you can see that it went down to touch that second hour neckline. So you have once it gets to this, I have to be patient for price to do whatever I want to do. If price really wants to go up, it will do whatever I want to do here. Take out liquidity, do all the manipulation. Then before it gives you a setup, we don't need to rush. So price continues. Now also pay attention here. You can see that we are creating more lows. So automatically this trend line is being adjusted. So let's just take this one here. See, once we start to see price trades above this trend line, then we are going to, though most times I will normally want price to trade above the neckline liquidity, confirming that this neckline liquidity is actually holding the price. But let's see how this goes. Okay. I want to see a close above this area. Now, why I'm looking for a close above this area is what we call change in state of delivery, all right, in ICT. Now, once you start to see price close above an order block that created a liquidity sweep, then it simply means that the order flow is changing direction. So in this case, I might not need for we already have a close above the trend line, right? But it's because of this displacement that's why I had to wait for price to go up a little bit. Now, but since we've closed above this order block over here, is a confirmation that okay, price might actually be aiming for this other liquidity over here. So what you need to do now is to take out. This is where you enter your trade. Put your stop loss just below this low over here. And remember, guys, just 1 2 1. Trust me, there are guys that are trading is not all about it's not all about hitting 1 2 3 or 1 2 4. Sometimes you have good amounts of capital. All you need is just good 5 6 1 to 1 trade per week and you are good. Most of the reason why most of us over trade, myself included, is because we are yet to get to that point where we have these hundreds of thousands of dollars in trading capital. Once you get to that level, trading is more of a routine than gambling or than trying to get rich quick. That is just the reality about trading. So let's see what happens here. So as you can see, that neckline liquidity is now rejecting because there is actually high amounts of orders there. But because we have these um, change of order flow here, that's why we'll hold this trade to see what happens. So we just need price to shoot up a little bit. If not for this neckline liquidity here, this particular move over here will hit our TP instantly. Because trading 1 to 1 on Nasdaq is very, very fast. It hits TP or your stop loss very, very fast. So it's ranging because of this liquidity here. Once it overcomes it, it should to shoot up very close to our TP. Boom. So as you can see, TP has been taken. Let's play it one more time. So boom. So here we've taken TP. So our first trade here was successful. Now, what we want to do right now again is to go back to the 1 hour time frame, and we're going to mark out new. I don't know why this stuff keeps showing me this recent updates. I would have loved just showed me this. Okay, so now we are back on the 1 hour time frame. So our first trade was successful. Now, what we want to do right now again on the 1 hour time frame, repeat the same process. Trading is all about repetition. We want to repeat the same thing we did on the other trade, which is first of all mark out 1 hour neckline liquidity. Now, this one has been violated already, so we're going to be looking at this level. Sorry. So we're going to be looking at this level. Going to be looking at this level over here. Then we're also going to be looking at this level over here. So these are the two level I want price to tap into first. Then before I start looking for a possible sell. Now, mind you, as at this time, Nasdaq is bullish. So if you're taking, so you either ignore sell opportunities or you risk very little. That's another rule you also have to follow. So let's see what price does once it gets to that point. So we've tapped that first liquidity zone. So what we want to do right now is to go down to 15 minutes time frame, which is our entry time frame. For God's sake, stop showing me. This is a recent price data. I think the whole thing takes time to. Okay. So now we've tapped that level. What we want to do is to do what? Look at our recent lower, higher lows, right? And mark at our trend line. So we want to start from these two over here. These two over here. So as you can see, we've already broken that trend line. So basically all we want to do now is to take a short position. Um take a short position over here. Then stop loss is just going to be here. Now for some reason I would want to extend my stop loss to this level. because of possibility of price coming to tap into that neckline, then I'm just gonna do 1 to 1. Cases like this might make your stop loss a little bit large, but yeah, that is just trading. You have to try and adapt whatever strategy you are trading. So let's see what happens. So price went to that neckline, rejected again, which is another confirmation that we have strong rejection at that point. So like I told you, Nasdaq trading is boom, TP has been taken. TP has been taken. So I told you, using trading this strategy, using trading Nasdaq using this strategy is very very fast, very very easy, very very simple. Now, even hadn't been we even used this level right as our 1 to 1, you see that TP did his very fast. But even apart from that, regardless of that, we still got our TP hits. So two trades gone, 100% win rate so far. So next thing we want to do now is to go back to the 1 hour time frame, take out those drawings. Take out those drawings and so go down to the 1 hour time frame, then also mark out the nearest or closest neckline liquidity. I have just like 4 minutes in this video, so I hope we can get another trade. So you're not supposed to be showing me data. Resend data, resend data. This thing kind of takes time to load back to the replay mode when you change the time frame. So I think that's basically what's happening. Okay, so this is the 1 hour. So where do we have our neckline liquidity on the charts? So over here we have this zone over here. Then we also have another zone around this area. So these are the two key levels I will wait for price to retrace to before I take another trade. So I want to see price tap that. Oh, so as you can see, it tapped. We missed that trade. We missed that trade. But for educational sake, for the sake of this video, let's just go back. Okay, so that trade actually played out. So we missed that trade. Let's go down to the 15 minutes time frame before price hits that level to see what actually happened. I think this is gonna be the last trade for this back testing because I have just 2 minutes in this video. So you see what happened here on the 15 minutes time frame. Price tapped into that neckline liquidity, right? Let's play this now. Okay, so what we want to do, like I said, the recent two highs, we've created a new high here. So you either draw it from this area, which makes more sense, and saying you want to draw it like this, it will not make sense like this. So you draw your trend line like this. Remember, trend line is a little bit subjective, so people draw trend line different, but this is basically how I do mine. So once to price actually closed before you even got in the trade. So this might be a 5 minutes. This would be a 5 minute entry or 10 minute entry. But yeah, guys, that's basically how um the 1 to 1 restore reward strategy works. If you want me to make more videos about the strategy, then let me know in the comment section. All right, take care, guys, and to have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye.